Hi there, I'm Eddie. Thanks for practicing yoga with me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give my video a thumbs up. Thank you. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming to yoga today. It is always wonderful to see faces and names, old and new. I'm happy that you're here. I'm really looking forward to practicing with you today. If you happen to be new to my class, my name is Eddie. I welcome you here. This is a wonderful community. Everybody in it is really, really nice and friendly. Nobody can really see what you're doing anyways, but I do know that the people that come to this class have really beautiful hearts, and everybody is just working on their own practice and working on their own self, and they also are holding space for you in your home and your wherever you may be doing yoga. They're holding space for you to also just blossom and open up into your fullest self. So we're really just going to kind of hold that intention for everybody. I want you to go at your own pace. Push it when you can, stop when you need to. You can sit down, you can lie down, you can take a moment and rest when it gets intense for you. We are not in a competition. We're trying to work in a way that really facilitates expansion and opening and helps us all to feel really, really good. So feeling good is what I want to talk about just very briefly. It's where we are going today. I've made a very kind of strong commitment in the past couple of days to make my personal theme, my personal intention to be self-love, self-appreciation, self-care, self-valuation. I don't know if that's a word, self-valuation, but to really value myself. And this is where I'm placing my attention, and it's what I want to put out as a theme for all of us, that we take care of ourselves, that we're loving to ourselves, that we're appreciating of ourselves, and everything that you are doing and everything that you are working on and everything that you are bringing to fruition and the struggles that you're facing, the grace with which you are facing them, and just the endurance that you're bringing to the game right now. Just please take care of yourselves. Please be loving to yourselves. In your practice, be loving to yourself, be kind to yourself, be appreciating of yourself. That's really where I want our practice to go today. It's so easy to get down on yourself, and I'm speaking from experience, as I'm sure you all know in your own personal experience as well. We nitpick on what we see as the faults. We nitpick on what we see as the shortcoming, or we get really fixated on the hardship and the struggle that we may be having with any particular hardship in our life. But if you just step back a little bit, see it from, your third eye perspective, see it from your yoga perspective, we are all doing the best that we can do, facing the circumstances that each and every one of us are facing in our life. So appreciate yourself on the journey, support yourself on the journey. Let's support each other as a community on the journey, and make today's class about self-love, self-appreciation, self-care. Bring your hands together at your heart. That is my wish for myself. It's my wish for all of you. Let's do it. Rub your hands together. Be nice to yourself. Oh my gosh. Feels so much better than being mean to yourself. Hands to your heart. Take a slow, deep breath in. Hold that breath in. Let your shoulders relax. Let your heart open, not only to the world, but to yourself. Exhale your breath out. Do it again. Slow, deep breath in. Fill yourself with prana. Fill yourself with life force. Hold your breath in, and then let that life force just move through your body. Exhale all that breath out. Please do it one more time. Take a slow breath in. Holding that breath in, please. Exhale all your breath out. We are going to chant the mantra Om 3 times. Take a slow, deep breath in. Om. Again, inhale. And one more time, inhale. Really good. From where we are, let's do a couple of simple little warm-ups. Put your hands on the fronts of your shins or on your knees. It doesn't matter. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, round your back. And keep going like that. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Breathe in, breathe out. Now you can look inside of your body and it may be tight and it may be stiff. And you can just look at it and say, that's okay. I'm going to do my yoga now, and I'm going to become more limber, and I'm going to become more flexible, and I'm going to become more fluid, and I'm going to become more open. One more. Inhale, lift your chest up. Hold your breath in for just a moment. Good. Exhale your breath out. Take your hands, reach them up, interlace your fingers, turn your palms up to the ceiling. Relax your shoulders down, open that chest, open the heart. If you want to gently lift your chin and give it a slight little back bend, go for it. Take one more deep breath in and out. Really good. Let's take a little twist here. One hand behind you, other hand on your knee. You really can enter the river at any point on its course, and it's always going to carry you to the ocean. So it doesn't matter where you start your journey today. Just let the current carry you downstream. Come on back and go to the other side. So it's very challenging to try and paddle upstream. You get tired very quickly. But wherever you are, you can step into the current right now, flow with it, and let it carry you downstream. Let's take one more breath. Inhale. Ah, so nice. Come on back through the center. Most of us know breath of fire. So let's take our arms, reach them up to the sky like this. Pull your fingers into your hands. Thumbs are up like you're hitchhiking. Look at my arms. They're in the shape of the letter V. If you know breath of fire, start it now. Otherwise, I'm going to talk to the people that don't know it. Easiest to learn, stick out your tongue, pant like a dog. Keep it going. Eyes are closed. If you don't like it, breathe long and deep. If you know how to do it only through your nose, do it through your nose. We're going to go for about 30 more seconds. Inhale, pull your thumbs to touch. Hold it. Hold it. Pop your fingers open and exhale. Comb your hands down. Take just a moment. Eyes are closed. Imagine yourself sitting inside a sphere or a globe of really brilliant, radiant light, just kind of shining off you. If you've ever seen those paintings of Tibetan Buddhas, they always have like a big circle of light around them, just like that. Good. All right, take a nice breath in and out, and let's get into our practice here. We're going to jump up to standing, and we're going to move just a little bit. So, putting my blanket aside, coming all the way up to stand, hands together at your heart. All right, let's relax our shoulders down. Perhaps we're going to bend our knees just a little bit. I'll turn and face you. In fact, you're facing the front. Inhale, reach your arms up. We're going to do half suns. Exhale, folding all the way down. Let it go. Now, you might bend your knees a lot there if you're tight. Inhale, look to the front. Exhale, fold to your legs. Arms out, chest up. Hands at your heart. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, down. Good. Feel how your movement impacts your breath. Exhale, fold to the legs. Inhale up. Exhale, hands at your heart. Take it up. Exhale it down. Just moving. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, folding to the top. Exhale to your heart. Be peaceful. Be calm. Inhale. Exhale. Soothe yourself as you move. Now you're going to hold this forward bend. I want you to look to the front. And exhale down. Relaxing your head. Now maybe you take your hands and wrap them around your elbows. Maybe you put your hands down on the ground or around your ankles, whatever you like. I want you to hang here for about half a minute. Good. So again, today's theme, self-love, self-appreciation, self-care, self-valuation. The key word in all of those statements is self. Directing it towards yourself today. Really feeling that value inherent within you just because the life force energy is flowing through you. You are a receptacle. You are a vessel through which the infinite life force energy flows and animates and expresses here on planet Earth. Take one more. I'm going to get it all out. Maybe bend those knees a little bit. Inhale, reaching your arms. Come on, all the way up to the top. Now I'd like you to release your hands down by your side. Take a nice deep breath in and out. When you exhale, try and reach down and touch the floor. Now notice how I bent my knees pretty deeply there. So I'm going to get into this little downhill skiers position and breathe. And then only my chest, my heart, and my arms are going to rise. And I'm going to go back to the heels a little bit. Taking a chair pose. Get your tail under and I just breathe it. Can you feel the flow? Inhale deeply. Exhale, fold forward and all the way down. Look to the front. Go ahead, step yourself back. Let's take our first downward facing dog and hold it there. Now, if you don't have quite the strength for downward dog or to hold it, you just come to your knees and then you go back up and you come to your knees. You go back up and breathe. I know I've told this story before, but it's a great visual for me. I always like to think about it when I think about the flow, when I think about the river or the current. A couple years ago, I was in Colorado and I was in a town called Glenwood Springs, which is famous for its hot springs. And there was this lovely natural hot springs right on the bank of the Colorado River. And you just kind of sit in the tubs that they have there and you just look out at the river. Beautiful. And every so often, one of those rafting excursions would go by, big rafting boat with like 10 people in it or 12 people in it. And they're all going in the same direction. They're all traveling from the left side of my vision to the right side. And they're all going downstream. And it's really lovely and beautiful. And if you imagine that group of 10 people had to turn around, get their oars out, and then start paddling upstream, how far would they go? Not very far. It's much easier to just let go, let the river carry you, and not spend your whole life fighting against the current. Take a deep breath in. Come on forward to plank pose. Let the current carry you. Hold it right here. So you can do the work, you can make the effort, but feel the current, feel the energetic sustenance. Close those eyes. Give me 5 more breaths here. Feel that energetic sustenance. Good. I'm getting even more intense. I'm squeezing, but I'm not fighting the current. I'm feeling the energy flow. I'm going to take one more inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to go down. Maybe you're dropping your knees. We're starting with a cobra. Shoulders are back, heart is up and through. Now just stay like this for a moment. Notice how I'm kind of low. I'm not terribly high in the posture. Elbows are down, breastbone is up, pubic bone is down on the ground. Take a nice breath in. I love this little twist here. Cobra twist. Roll to your right hip. Turn and look back towards your left foot. Now notice my elbows are still a little bit bent. I'm twisting, but I am expanding my right waist, my right rib cage. And I'm going to come right through the center and go down to the left side, looking over at my right foot. Taking one more inhale. And come on back. Downward facing dog. Really, really good. So we're going to try and get to the top of our mat. Some of you will jump, some of you will step, some of you will just slowly walk forward, open halfway. Exhale all the way down to your legs, arms out, chest comes to the top. And exhale, we bring those hands down and right together at our heart. So what if we now take the sequence that we just did and kind of add to it a little bit, maybe move through it a little bit more. We're going to make this what you call a B-series sun salutation, and I'll hold some of the parts. Here's how we're going to do it. Inhale, take your hands to the ceiling. Just follow me. Exhale, sit into chair pose. You've already done that. Now fold over your legs. Look to the front. And exhale, gently step or jump back, and you're going to lower. Now you could drop your knees. You could hover and come to a back bend. I'm taking upward dog. You could be low in cobra. And you go back to downward dog. So this time we're going to get that right leg up. We're going to bend the knee, roll the hip open for a moment. Really, really lovely stretch through my left leg. Now I'm going to stand way up on the tiptoes of my left foot. Everybody join me there. Stand on your tiptoes. Get high. Exhale, pull your knee towards your nose. Step it up between your hands all the way. Spin your left foot flat. Bend that knee, hands to the sky. Now give me about 5 breaths in your warrior one. So again, we're still breaking down the elements just a little bit, but let's hang out right here. Do you want to go deeper in your knee? Do you want to go up into your back bend? Find your posture. One more inhale. Exhale, place your hands down. Step yourself back. Go through that push-up cycle if you can. Take your left leg. Let's go up to the ceiling. Bend the knee. Roll the hip open for a moment. How about standing way up on the toes? Nice and high. Nice and high. Now forward with that left foot. Step it up. If you can't make it, well, just stand up and then jump into the position that I'm holding. Left foot forward, right foot back. You can't do it wrong. Good. The yoga is in the flow. It's in the energy. It's in the attitude. It's not about some kind of idealized posture. It's in how you engage with your personal process. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, touch down. How loving, how accepting, how caring, how conscious can you be? Downward facing dog, that's good, right? Hold it for a few breaths. We're getting warm. Now I'm working to press my heels down towards the ground. But you might not get there, just as close as you can get. We're going to look to the top of the mat, bend the knees, step or lightly jump all the way forward and open yourself, and down. So good. Now give me a chair pose. Bend your knees, reach your chest. Come on up, stand, and release yourself down. Take a nice deep breath. In and out. Now I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to go with just a little bit more flow in it. If you're slower, amen. So be it. Inhale, take your hands up. Exhale, sit down in chair pose. Reach your heart. Fold over your legs. Look forward. Now step or jump yourself back and immediately lower. Don't be sloppy, but go through it. Back bend, downward dog. Right leg lifts. Right knee comes forward. Left foot spins flat. Inhale up. You could stay in down dog if you need to. Exhale, down we go. Step it back, lower through. Back bend, downward dog. Left leg up. And left foot forward. Warrior one. Inhale. Touching down. Moving through. Really, really good. Downward facing dog. Looking forward, bending your knees. Gently step or jump forward, open and down. Sweep out, come on all the way up. And hands down together at your heart. Take a nice moment, take a slow, deep breath in and out. You may or may not be able to see this picture on the wall that's right next to me right here that I'm pointing at there. But that's Neem Karoli Baba, who was really an amazing teacher from the 20th century. And underneath it is one of his slogans, one of the only things he taught. He just always said, love everyone. And as I'm looking at that, it really makes me ask, are we loving ourselves? Because yes, we focus our loves towards children and friends and spouses and pets, but everyone includes you. Are you loving yourself? Inhale, take your hands up. Exhale, sit down, reach up. And let's go forward. So we'll change it just a little bit. I'm going to have you look to the front, gently step or jump yourself back, just a downward facing dog. So here's what I want to do. I'll do it on the left side first, only because you can see it better. Let's all drop onto our left knee for just a moment. We're going to start with a side plank on the left side and potentially take it into a reverse side plank. So it'll have stages to it. Keep your left foot down, take your right leg back, take your right hand up. This is your absolute beginning stage. Really, anyone could hang out right here. So that's our kind of first stop on this journey. Second stop, we're going to stack both of our legs. Top arm is up to the ceiling. So that's called side plank. Hang out there for just a moment. Some of us know the reverse version, which is you take the top foot, step it off your mat behind you, roll open, and then reach your arm out over your ear. If you need to look at me, look at me. You could be in stage one and just be chilling, loving yourself for what you're doing. One more breath. And exhale, come on all the way back through the center. If anybody likes a push-up cycle in between, go for it. When we're ready, we're coming on to side two. Now I'm going to show you this. Side two, right knee is down, left foot is flat. That is for my people who are just kind of getting used to this or maybe not feeling as strong. It's okay. Maybe both of our legs are stretched straight. Hang out for a moment so you kind of feel it. Taking your left foot behind you. Lift those hips up. Take your arms. Come on. Reach over your ear. So good. Yes. Take a deep breath in. Come on all the way back through the center. If you want to do your push-up cycle, go for it. Nice deep breath in and out. Walk your hands back, everybody. We're coming to the back end of our mat. We're going to look forward as we inhale. We're going to fold all the way down to the legs. Sweep out, come up. And step your feet together so that they're touching. From here, I'm going to take my right foot, step it forward to the middle of my mat, step on my left big toe. Arms come out to the side. Now, I talk about this all the time. You get into this posture by lifting your back leg, not by dropping your chest. If you drop your chest, you're never going to get it back up. Keep your chest lifted, pick your back foot up off the ground. That would be your starting point. Now, if you can, lift your leg higher. It's naturally going to let your chest fall forward. The higher your leg comes, the more your chest goes down. Try and stop anywhere along the journey, maybe to parallel, all the way to parallel. And I'm going to give you one more challenge. Can you take your hands down to the floor or down to blocks? Maybe put your blocks under your hands. Lift that leg up super, super high. Maybe you would take your right hand around your ankle, getting more advanced. Maybe you take both hands around your ankle and just completely balance on that right foot. And then slowly lower the foot to meet, open halfway. Fold it in, arms out, chest up. Good. Never punitive in yoga, at least not in my class. I never want you to have a punitive practice. Take your left foot, step it forward. There are a lot of teachers that will teach from a place of harassment or you're not trying hard enough, you're not good enough. Take your right foot, lift it up. You're never going to get that here. And I don't want you to go down that path either. Balance. Lift your leg. You are perfect if you're standing in mountain pose while we do everything else. I don't care. As long as you are caring, kind, accepting, valuing yourself, loving yourself, breathing. You don't have to be anything more than what you are right now. Take a deep breath in. Let's come forward. Go down. Lift that leg. Now, if you can, maybe your left hand goes around the back of your left ankle. And maybe your right hand catches and you fully balance. Now, that's tough. Oops, I fell. Okay, let's bring it down all the way. Very good. We open ourselves. We fold in towards the legs. Take your arms out. Reach them up and down. Now, I'm going to move on from that. This will be kind of a balancing posture as well. If you had blocks, here's what I'd suggest. I would have you take your blocks at the top end of your mat, and I'd have you stand them up. If you don't have a block, don't worry. You're just going to have to put your hands on the ground, and that might mean that you bend your right knee. Well, here's my blocks. I'm going to kind of put my foot in the midline, and I'm going to take my hands down onto the blocks. For me, I would go a little bit lower. And I'm going to lift that left leg. But when I lift, this time I'm not going to the sky. I'm turning it open, trying to get it parallel to the ground. And slowly my left arm is going to rise to the ceiling. We call this half moon. Now, if you can't balance like this, you should keep both hands down on the ground or on the block or on the seat of a chair and breathe. Now, this is like a balancing triangle pose. To get into your regular triangle pose, bend your standing leg, step back, step back, step back, way back. And I'm going to slide my block back now. I brought it alongside my right calf. And my left hand is going up to the sky. Very similar shape. The only difference is you're not balancing. Okay. Now I want to take that top hand. It's going to start to come down to the ground. I'm actually going to reach that block again, just so I have two blocks. I got to take the back foot, pick it up, angle it inward, and fold forward. Maybe you walk your blocks in front of you. Maybe your hands are on the ground. Hamstring stretch here. Good. Keeping your left hand down. Taking your right hand up to the ceiling. Now I kept my hand on the block. Twisting, take my right hand up to the sky, twisting, triangle. Love this posture. Right hip is drawing back, chest is open. So we inhale and exhale. I'm going to take those hands down. Here's how I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to slide my block forward, step my back foot forward. Some of you might do a push-up cycle. That's okay. Fold down, sweep out, come on all the way up, and voila. Side two. I got my blocks on the ground, yeah. I'm going to take my left foot kind of in the middle position right there. Okay, gonna lean into it, get my hands on the blocks. Now I'm on fingertips, I'm not flattening my hands. I'm keeping the fingertips just for lightness. Just for lightness. This posture can be done totally balancing if you want to pick the hand up off the block as well, or off the ground. Take your right hand up to the sky. Again, if you don't have blocks, you can always get like a folding chair or a kitchen chair and put your hand on the seat of the chair. Okay, so here we are, we're rolled open, we're rolled open. Breathing. Triangle pose, you just bend your standing leg, you step yourself back, you slide your hand back, you take your right hand up. And breathe. Do you imagine that if you were sitting in that raft on the Colorado River, like I was describing, that you would be able to feel the current and the direction that it's pulling you? Yes, you would. And you'd also be able to feel what it would be like if you turned against it and tried to paddle upstream. So right now, try and feel yourself moving with the energy current. You're going to take 3 more breaths here. Feel yourself moving downstream. Feel the energy flowing through you without opposition. Go ahead and slowly place your hand down. I'm going to grab that second block. I'm going to pick my back foot forward a little bit, turn it in, and I'm folding right out over the left leg. Here we go. That's it. Last one right here. Keeping your right hand down. We're going to take the left hand. It's going to come up all the way, twisting open. You want to pull your left hip back as much as you possibly can. This is our last standing posture right here. We'll take a deep breath in. We're going to put our hand down. I'm going to move my blocks off to the side. Step back to downward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. You want to go through 1 more push-up cycle, or you want to go through 4 more push-up cycle, this would be your time to do it. And once you've done it, or you've had enough of it, then come down and meet in child's pose. Let's come down. Spread your knees so that you have space for your belly to come right through. Let your forehead drop. I'd like you to take your hands. When you come to your resting position, I'd like you to bring your hands into a prayer position. So your pinkies will be on the ground, the palms of your hands are together, your thumbs are crossed, your forehead is down. And feel the current now. You can breathe deeply, you can breathe softly, but feel the current of the river moving through you from your tail, kind of over your back, down through your arms, out through your hands, and flowing forward from your hands. Feeling that flow. This is it. Slowly bring yourself up into a Sphinx pose. So I want you to get your forearms down onto the ground. Now, once again, let's just talk about it. My knees are wide. They're about as wide as my mat is. My big toes are touching one another, and my elbows are on the ground. This is a Sphinx. You can stay like that. But what I'm going to offer you today is a quadricep stretch. If your knees bother you, you might not do this. So slowly try and sit up onto your heels like that. So I'm just sitting up. Your buns will kind of fall into the cup of your feet right there. I'm going to take my hands back, bring them behind me, fingers point in towards the shoulders. Now here's kind of the crucial element. Lift your hips up. Some of you might have to stay like that. Tuck your tail up to the ceiling, and while you're tucking, slowly recline. Now I can recline more by bending my elbows more. I can drop my elbows all the way back to the ground. Some of us will be able to get all the way down onto our backs. It doesn't really matter as long as you're maintaining that tuck of your tail up, you're going to get that deep quadricep stretch. Knees down, tail up. Let's hold it. Remember, you could always be forward, just get right back into that Sphinx pose. If you've come all the way to your back, come to your elbows. From your elbows, come up to your hands. And once again, get right back forward. I want your elbows down on the ground. Many of you know this one. I call it the arm wrestling twist because that's kind of what the setup looks like. My knees are wide. I'm going to take my right arm and pull it over to the left side of my mat. Now see how I set my arm up? It's like I'm going to arm wrestle somebody. I'm going to put the left hand in the right hand, making a prayer, and slowly twist into it. Just let your shoulder relax. And feel that energy corkscrewing through your spine on its journey forward. Think about how much resistance it takes to hold a river back, right? The Hoover Dam, how huge and giant it is trying to hold that river back. It takes a lot of resistance to block the flow. It's so much easier just to allow. Soften your mind. And as the river flows, just let it carry your thoughts away. Don't resist. Go to the second side, arm wrestling twist. You're going to take that left elbow. We're going to bring it over to the right edge of the mat as far as you can go. Get your hand up like you're arm wrestling. Put your right hand in your left hand and twist. Let your left shoulder drop. Good. Take one more. And slowly we're going to go ahead and come on out of that. Now, up onto your hands and your knees. Take a few rounds of cat-cow. We're going to get a little bit deeper into the legs, into the quadricep muscle. So for myself, I'm going to take my blanket and I'm going to get that down as a pad under my knees because we are going to be on the knees for the next, minute or two. So if you like padding, you can get anything from a yoga blanket to a towel or a kitchen towel even and fold it. If you don't need padding, don't worry about it. We're going to take your right foot. I'm going to step it forward and I'm going to get into that low lunge. So I really want to open this up. I want to pull my left knee back and push my right knee forward. I want my right knee to stay over the heel. I'm going to take the hands, go up to the ceiling. So I'm starting really down in the hip flexor, just allowing my weight to sink. Just put some anchors on your hips, drag down to the ground. But you go up through the spine. Good. And here's where it's going to get kind of interesting. Put your hands down. I'm going to put my right hand on my knee. I'm going to put my left hand down on the ground for just a moment. And I'm going to try and bend the back leg. Now, for some of us, that's going to absolutely be enough right there. You just bend that back leg. For some of us, we're going to take the right hand back, and we're going to catch the left foot. Yikes. You want to talk about deep in your quadricep. There you go. Sink that front knee, Pull that in. You're doing a little twist. Ah. We're going to take about 2 more. Don't worry if you don't have the foot. Okay. Go ahead and slowly release that. That was really good. Let's take the right leg back. We're going to get nice open legs today. Take your left foot, start it forward. Scoot your right knee back. Sinking down. Okay. Let's begin in our lunge. Once again, we start in the hip flexor. You're going to feel it right at the top of that thigh, right where it comes into the front of your pelvis. Maybe adding a little back bend, stretching your abdomen. Nice. We take one more here, and I'm going to put my left hand down on my knee, right hand down on the ground, and we're going to bend the right leg. Now, that may already be enough for you, just leaning forward and bending that knee. But some of us are going to take the left hand back and catch the right foot. Yikes. That is tight for me. And I'm just going to soothe. I'm going to soften. I'm going to smile. I'm going to breathe. Okay, slowly go ahead and come on right out of that. When you get back onto those hands and knees, give me a few rounds of cat-cow. Okay, we're going to come into pigeon pose on our right side. You could really do any variation you want. So if you have any knee issues, you might come onto your back. That could be really good for you, and you do thread the needle. If you like seated double pigeon, you're welcome to do that. Let me talk you into regular pigeon. Hands down, I'm going to bring my right knee, place it against my right wrist, turn my leg open, and walk the left leg back. Okay, not too bad. Go back. And then maybe I'm going to drop down with my elbows. Put my forehead down. I used to always go to this hot springs up in Northern California. There's a hot springs theme today in class. And there was a wonderful creek that ran through the property. And right in the middle of the creek, there was this one really, really big boulder. And I loved that rock. I could just go and sit or lie down. It was big enough that I could, lie flat on it and just rest. And in the summer, the water is so low that it was just kind of streaming around the sides of that boulder. But I imagine that in the spring, when the water is really flowing, that boulder's probably covered. Imagine right now if you were the rock. We're going to be here for another 30 seconds. That as you breathe, the current of that stream, that creek, is running right over your back. From your back foot forward through your fingertips, it's just pouring through you. Now I've got one more little ounce of fun for you, my friends. If you're on your stomach, you can't do this if you're on your back, so just wait for a moment. You could stay in your pigeon. If you're on your stomach, lift your chest up. Bend your back knee. It's the same thing we did earlier. It's probably not going to feel as intense because you're more open now. You could take the same hand back. That's more mild. Or you would take your opposite hand. So right hand would reach back and catch your left foot. And then you would slowly come forward and pull that heel in. Still breathing, still letting the current flow. One more inhale. And we go to the second side. Let's take side 2. We're going to bring our left knee forward, right up Left knee comes to your hands. Now, if you're on your back, of course, you'll just cross your ankle on your knee. Right leg is going back behind you. I'm going to open up that leg to the angle I can sustain. And we're coming forward. Breathe deeply. Energy is one of those things. It's like, well, how do you describe it? How do you feel it if you're not used to it, you're not tuned into it? I believe the only way we can understand it is through these kind of analogies and metaphors. Can you imagine what it feels like to be a rock in a creek and have that water flowing over you from one side to the other? It's always flowing in the same direction. What would it feel like to just have water moving through you? What would it feel like to be a pipe with water flowing through it, to be a cord with electricity flowing through it? You're the vessel. The flow is moving through you. One more inhale. Okay, let's do that quadricep stretch if you can. If you're not going to do it, just stay forward or stay on your back. Now remember, you bend your right knee. The lighter version would be to take your right hand back to your right foot. The deeper version would be to take your left hand back to your right foot. So you twist, and then you would drop your right elbow forward and pull in. A couple breaths. Very good. And exhale. Slowly come on down. Now, if any of you are headstanders, this would be your chance to come into headstand. Otherwise, you're going to take your legs, we're going to swing them around, rolling onto our back. So I'm going to roll on my spine a couple of times. If you want to join me, just rock back and forward. It's a really nice little massage. Inhale, you roll back. Exhale, you roll forward. Of course, leave it off if you like. We're coming to either shoulder stand, headstand, modified shoulder stand with your legs up to the ceiling, back on the floor. I'm going to roll back, support my back, stretch the legs up. Now, if you happen to be new, you might want to look at this first and try and decide if it's something that you're going to give a shot to. If you're not going to come all the way up, you may just want to sit on your hands, legs up to the ceiling, breathing. All right, taking one more breath, please. Now you can come to plow pose if you want, dropping your knees over your forehead, maybe letting your feet fall down to the ground. Maybe you're not going that far, maybe you just bend your knees and slowly you roll down onto your back. Let's take a couple seconds for whatever people want to do. If you're in headstand, start to make your way to your back. Plow pose on your back with your knees in. As we all make our way down, let's take just a second here. Bring the soles of your feet together. Open them up in a diamond shape. So the feet are together. The knees are just spread open. I've got my arms out alongside me, kind of shaped like goalposts, so bent at the elbows. And just softening. Taking a moment just to be in the flow, be in the current. Very, very good. Let's bend your knees, put your feet on the ground. Now, we're going to first just start with our hands alongside us. Knees are bent, feet are on the ground. I want you to inhale, push your hips up. Start at the top of your spine, roll down. Your hands are flat on the floor. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. I'm going to do it 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now, bring it up. Stay up. Interlace your hands beneath you. So that is your starting point. You can stay just like this, but I'm going to offer something to people who want a little bit more. Try and take your right leg, lift it up, reach it to the ceiling. I've really got to work through my left leg, lift my chest, open it up. And then I'm going to cross my right ankle onto my left knee. I'm still going to stay in this bridge pose, but I got my hips lifted, right ankle crossed on the left knee, and put the foot on the ground. I'm going to try the second side, left leg up high. Up, up, up. It's a lot of work. You could stay in the basic bridge. Crossing my ankle over my knee, hip opener. Putting the foot down. Come on all the way down onto your back. That was good. Pull those knees in. If anybody wants to do wheel pose, this is your moment to do wheel right now. Hands alongside your ears, fingers pointing towards your shoulders. Otherwise, what I'd like you to do is bring the soles of your feet together, reach forward, grab those feet, and start to pull the big toe edge of your feet in. And breathing. Very nice. That's the way. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Go ahead and put both of your feet on the ground. Bring your knees together to touch one another. Feet are on the ground, knees are touching. Now cross your right leg over your left. Just basic cross, tight cross. Before you twist, shift your hips to the right a little bit. All I did was I picked my butt up, moved it to the right side of my mat a couple inches, dropped the knees to the left, right arm to the right. Find your best stretch, dropping your shoulder, dropping your knee. Where is the best stretch? And breathe. So you got to remember that yoga is always a process of subtraction. It's always a process of stripping away. Come on back through the center. Put both of your feet on the ground. Knees are touching one another. All we're doing is kind of polishing away the tarnish. Cross your left ankle or left thigh over your right. Shift your hips to the left a little bit. Drop them down to the right. Polishing away the tarnish so that we kind of are back to our natural luster and shine. And then when we go back to our original theme of self-love, self-appreciation, self-value, self-care, we come to see that it's not because we added anything to ourselves that we're valuable, worthy of love, worthy of care, worthy of appreciation. In stripping away, we see what was there all along, the inherent value of just simply being. Good, come on back. Stretch your legs away on the ground. I would like you to take a moment of Shavasana with me. So I'm going to stretch my legs out. I'm going to turn the palms up to the ceiling. You might want to start by sticking out your tongue, opening your jaw. And when you let it all release, Be very soft. The teeth are soft, the tongue is soft. There should be the gentle feeling that you're just falling backwards like a feather falling from the sky. Very, very light. And you eventually fall and you hit the river. And the current just carries you. Without stirring yourself too much yet, just let your consciousness become awake inside your body. And see if you can just allow yourself to feel good in your skin. Feel good about who you are, not because of your accomplishments or your accolades, the size of your bank account, the size of your genes, but simply because you're a receptacle, you're a conduit, you're a vessel through which this infinite life force energy flows. And the energy is equal. It's all equal. Wiggle your fingers. Excuse me, wiggle your toes. This was a lovely class. Draw your knees into your body. Roll over to your side. From your side, you're going to push yourself up all the way to sitting, and we'll bring the hands together at the heart, and we will close together. Let's take a slow, deep breath in. Om. Rub those hands together. Take them warm and bring them over your head and down over your body. What a lovely practice. Namaste. Be good to yourselves, everybody. Thanks for practicing with me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up.